Can I ping IndyCar? No, I can't. Oh, that's a bummer. We should be 15 listeners, if I remember right. No, we should be 14 listeners because Habib was signed off. That explains why he wasn't at the thing. Nathan. Nathan Boris Jens. Oh yeah, Jens is excused. Nathan Boris and who's else? At Nathan at Dambo. Oh yeah, at Starker. Okay, we have a few smaller things that I'll real quick gonna go over. Oh, it's all good. Don't worry. That's why I ping. It's just that we have a small few things to talk over. Pretty much just two, but they are rather important because they're in agreements with the team bosses. Because we're just that great. Also some smaller things for Nathan because I think Nathan, you're new. You didn't do a race yet. Real quick, Alabama will have two quali groups. Yeah, everyone saw the quali groups. The times are with it, so we don't have an Adelaide again. I will stick to those times in the message and send out the quali groups accordingly. Have the in-game chat open because this is where the race director orders are being given. Now to the new procedures. The in-game chat. Well, the two small things that I mentioned. The in-game chat is used by Juno or me. Nobody else. No other messages I want to see in there. Otherwise, I'm gonna smack your fingers with a ruler. Or the DAR rules book from Fairy Odd Parents. So yeah. The in-game chat is used for race director orders because there are also certain procedures that just simply need more messages, so there shouldn't be something in between and mushing it up. The second thing is a change of procedure for drive-throughs given for pitting under caution while the thing is closed. To put it out in a very short circumstance, the drive-through penalties will now be spoken out after the pace car is done and will have to be served in a green flag environment. If the time frame of when to serve it will be I'm pretty sure it was 5 laps in Adelaide. Correct me if I was wrong for the people who have been receiving penalties. I'm pretty sure it was 5 laps in Adelaide. Oh yeah, real quick. For Nathan, the first lap will be a formation lap, so you know how formation laps works probably. I'll drive ahead, and you guys follow me. Then I'll swerve off somewhere into the void, and you guys double file and then race start. Pace cars will have a closed pit lane at the start, until the field is bunched up. Then the pit lane will open with a message in the chat. During full course yellows, the pit will remain closed for the entirety of the time, or the duration of the full course yellow. Going back to the point of it being of the drive-throughs being served, it will have to be during green flag things within 5 laps. Considering no one corrected me, I'm pretty sure it was 5 laps in Adelaide. If there is a situation of an immediate another caution coming out, the lap count will freeze. And you will still have to serve the drive-through after the next pace car during green flag. If you do a drive-through during the pace car, you'll have to do a second one. Tough luck. Yeah. That was about it. I'm pretty sure that those are, well, medium big things that got changed, but I think they are pretty clear in what they are. So no more usage of in-game chat, and drive-through penalties will now have to be served during a green flag environment. If there are any questions, ask them now or be quiet forever. Obviously, Max, if you could explain the smaller things to Jens when he's here, that would be fantastic. No, real quick. Again, before we go into the quali, just the usual me reading out the quali groups real quick. Group 1, Tim Course, Mox, Boris Checker, Jeff, Sven De Haas, Ben Neal, David Openga, and Nathan, which will go from 14 minutes. No, not from 14, from 24 to 14 minutes rest time. There we go. And then quali group 2, obviously, Max Simmons, Habibo signed out, Jens, Ben, Drago, Ivan, and Alex, who isn't here, I think. Where's Alex isn't here. Oh yeah, Drago, you have a quali ban, so you'll not be able to go for full quali. With that, this should be everything sorted now. Is Alex on the server? I don't think he is, right? Yeah. Alex. Race time. Alright. With that, I will jump the server in just a second, and I wish you guys good luck and a great third to last race. Didn't, right? No, Alex didn't. Oh, he did sign out. Okay, I'm an idiot. Never mind. I can't read. Because people sign out 30 minutes before the race. Yeah, we're 12 people. That's still fine. We'll also stick with the quality groups. If a group just is low numbers now, then there's that. Ask your questions now or be silenced forever. All right. Have fun. Have a good race. I'll probably see you at the end. And have a good one. Oh, you'll do it. Okay, that's nice.
Hello, hello.
Oh god, I didn't get any clicks. What the fuck?
Yeah, I think we both clicked join at exactly the same time.
Oh, we're just that amazing, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, time for round 8 around Barber. 2 rounds to go after this. We still have the championship lead being held by Max Simmons since pretty much the start of the season. But this time he's getting caught up even more by Tim Course. Tim Course did take the P2 ahead of Max Simmons in the last race in Adelaide, so he got a few points on the board over Max Simmons, meaning that the championship gap has closed slightly. We're down to now 36 points between P1 and P2, with this race and 2 more races remaining after this. We have qualifying in 40 seconds or so, and so the first group will be Tim Course for P2, then Dinesh Ferreira, Boris Shekajev, Sander Haas, Ben Neal, David Apanga and Nathan Older, a newcomer. Group 2 will start at the 10th minute and we'll have Max Simmons. Habibovic is not attending, so we won't have him. Jens Lebau, the winner from last time out, Sven Hilger, Dragoshen, Ivan Tilmani, and that is all.
Well, we won't have Dragoshen because Drago has a
quali
yes,
ban. Drago has a quali ban. Yep, didn't make it last race, so we'll have a quali ban this weekend. So let's have a look, see who will be the first out of the pits. It is Tim Course, the man going for the championship against Max Simmons. There is also a very close battle for the Constructors' Championship in IndyCar as well. 4 points is all that's between Black Eagle Racing and Turn 1. Black Eagle Racing with 441 points to Turn 1's 437.
I'll also be back in just a second.
Tim Course racing for neither of the 2 leading teams. He is the driver for Stiftung Plankentest, who is in P3 in the championship at the moment, just ahead of DB Motorsports in P4. The other Stiftung Plankentest driver being Ivan Tilmani, who is in qualifying group 2 today. So we go to start a lap with Tim Course. Let's see what sort of times we can be looking for. We saw, I think it was a 105.6 that was set by Sven Hilger in practice. So that's the time to beat. Very dangerous circuit is Barber. A lot of tight corners, a lot of long corners, as we go through one of them now. Very reminiscent of Portimao, this one. A lot of there we go, a lot of undulation down that right-hander section. Then go up to the left and to the right of the fast chicane. And then back to the fast sector here. We may see some overtakes through there if people are being really brave. As we come towards the final corner here. And Tim Course will cross the line to set a 106.1 for Tim Course. That's a good first time on the board. Dinesh Ferreira will cross the line next. What can Dinesh Ferreira do? 107.0 for Dinesh Ferreira. Next across the line will be Ben Neal, who goes 9/10 faster than his teammate. Almost on provisional pole, 13 thousandths of a second between them, but Nathan Older, the newcomer, has set a 105.9, fastest time so far by over 2 tenths. Boris Shekajev is in the 110s. That's probably, he's probably had a mistake or 2 in that lap. That's probably not representative. The only driver with a time yet on the board is Sven Haas, who is in the pits. So can we see if Tim Course can deny Nathan Older from setting pole on his first appearance? The fastest lap being set by the guy who hasn't attended here before. We saw that in Portland as well with another driver. That was Axel Bernot, who took pole that day. No improvements coming so far. Dinesh Ferreira has crashed, so he is not going to set a faster lap time this time round. As we cut to Ben Neal, who's just gone slightly faster than Tim Course. Nathan Older's improved as well. He's put the gap even higher. He's now on a 1:05.8 for his provisional pole time. 4 minutes gone in qualifying. Boris Shekachev improves into the 1:07s. Still the slowest driver to have set a time yet, though. David Apanga is now out of track, as well as Sven de Haas. This is the larger of the two groups today. So these are the two drivers in this group yet to set a time. About to cross the line is David Apanga to start his first lap. Now, will Nathan Older improve his provisional pole time? We know that Sven Hilger can definitely go faster. He's very close to his best time in the first couple of sectors. Ben Neal approaches the pits. Will Nathan Older improve? He does, a 1:05.5 for Nathan Older. 2.5 tenths gained in that final sector. So 5 tenths between P1 and 2 at the moment. Boris Shekachev puts himself into a neat P4 with a 1:06.4 on the board. That's just under a second away from provisional pole. Sven de Haas, his fastest time is a 2:07. That's not a push lap. So will he be able to set a good time on his first proper occasion now?
I have returned, by the way.
Just in time. We are seeing Nathan Older, the newcomer, on provisional pole at the moment by 5 tenths of a second. Tim Course pops himself up into P2. Again, just under 5 tenths from provisional pole. They're not really gaining on Nathan Older too much. Sven de Haas cutting the track limits a little bit there. That's not going to be the fastest way around the track. 1:07.9 is his time. That's the slowest time so far. David Apanga is faster than him as well, only by 33 thousandths of a second though. 2.5 seconds between the fastest and slowest drivers so far.
We gotta admit we had a great set of mid-season rookies this year.
We have. I did mention Axel Bernot, who set pole position on his first attempt out. We've not seen him since. Hopefully he does come back to drive another day. Nathan Older's trying to do the same though. 5 tenths is the gap so far, as he does come into the pits. David Apanga. Now I have downloaded Nathan Older's livery. Doesn't want to show though, so I'm not sure why. Unless it is just a plain red livery. That'd be funny. 3 minutes to go in qualifying. Nathan Older cutting track limits there, so that is not going to be a fast lap for him. Ben Neal, he needs to improve to try and get ahead of Tim Course. Will he be able to improve on this lap? No. Starts a new lap though.
Sven de Haas goes 6.
With a 1:07... 1:07.7 I think? There or thereabouts. So still 2.2 seconds off the pace. He has improved ahead of David Apanga though.
Oh, Shekachev has a green first sector.
8 tenths off provisional pole at the moment. He is improving on this lap. We'll be able to see him put up a challenge for the top 3 positions. Few corners left to go on this lap for him though. This tricky left then right hander is first up for him. Then we'll come to the section that is very reminiscent of Turn 1 China.
This is a great circuit. It's a really curvy circuit. It kind of just reminds me of like the IndyCar version a bit of Portimao.
That's exactly what I said. That I said Portimao first time I looked at this track. Yeah, that's Portimao. He does improve Boris Shekachev by 2 tenths. 1:06.2 now. Still needs a tenth and a bit to fight Ben Neal. But so far, no one's threatening Nathan Older as well. Probably the only man out there that can is Sven Hilger. We saw him set practice times in the 105s. We still don't want to count out the two Turn 1 drivers though. Jens Lebau set in pole position last time out in Adelaide. Quietly confident about his pace last weekend and quietly confident about his pace this weekend as well. The one... go on.
I think a big thing about quali here is how many push laps can you do in a row.
Yeah, we have seen most of the drivers do some sort of pit strategy midway through their qualifying. I think Shekajev might be the only one that hasn't pitted at some point. That's too wide for Shekajev. That's not going to improve his time. He does come into the pits now though. 1 minute left in qualifying, so he is not going to get out and do another lap.
This might be the first circuit we have where we actually see the alternate struggle.
Is that because of the track abrasion on the tyres at all? It does look like a bit of a high abrasive circuit.
There's also a lot of fast corners.
That's true. Yeah. So these corners here that Tim Course is going through that are going to be the easiest on the tyres, the slow corners. He has got Ben Neal right ahead of him. These two trying to set qualifying times. Tim Course is 5/10 down on pole position at the moment, and so is Ben Neal. So will either of these make a threat for pole position on their last laps as we come through the final few corners? I wonder if we'll see any overtakes through here. We're pretty brave to do so, but could be a great opportunity, especially on the first lap.
We say this about
oh! Through the final corner, Ben Neal got very out of shape with his car, and he's taken Tim Course with him. I don't know if Tim Course was on a lap, but that's not going to help his quali time. Dinesh Ferreira sets a personal best, but he's still a second off pole. Tim Course, I doubt he's going to be happy with that one. So now we give it a 4-minute break before we head over to qualifying Group 2. We are seeing a lot of fights actually in the constructors. Just looking down the order now, we've got 4 points between the top two. We then have 7 points between 3 and 4. Make that what's that? 17 points between 3, 4 and 5. And then 6th and 7th in the constructors at the moment are on equal points. So there are a lot of fights going on in the Constructors' Championship. Also a lot of battles in the drivers as well. As I mentioned before, Maximans, championship leader at the moment, almost on 300 points. 297 is his total at the moment. Tim Course, the challenging man, 261. I believe he may be the only other driver mathematically in a chance to win the championship, since Habibovic can't attend this weekend. He won't be able to threat for that title anymore. So there is a fight with Habibovic, Ferreira, Shekajev, Jens Lebau, Klaus, Ash Hamilton, Sven Hilger, Sven de Haas, Dragashen and Ben Neal, all fighting for P3, P4, P5.
I think Mox and Boris are also technically still in purely mathematically in the fight.
130 points between Shekajev.
With today, there still should be 150 points at least. Yeah.
So they will be mathematically in. Chances of that happening though are slim. It would involve Maximans pretty much not finishing the rest of the races. Same with Tim Course. But yeah, they are still mathematically in the hunt. The likelihood of that happening is very slim though. But they are going to try and, be there if it does happen. The driver I do want to see have a good race here is definitely Dinesh Ferreira. We've seen him lead a hell a lot of laps over the season, but the top driver in the championship to not win a race yet. His best result, P2.
He had a lot of tough luck this season.
He has, yeah. Especially in Texas and a lot of the ovals, really. Texas, Iowa, Motegi. ovals really haven't been his best performances, but they're not really been his fault. He's been one of the fastest, if not the fastest driver around the ovals, and yet it's just not materialised for him. He did win the Indy 200, 300 before the start of the
300.
season. So we do know he can do it around ovals. As we have 20 seconds left to go in before we start qualifying Group 2.
I think this must be one of the more frustrating things. Of course, he won the Indy 300, but he kind of won the only non-championship IndyCar race.
And I think that's going to be interesting since, yeah, as I said, we know that he can do it around ovals. We do have one more short oval left to go this season in Nashville. So we'll see if Dinesh Ferreira can do it there. Tim Course, I don't believe he's going to be very happy. I think he was about a quarter of a second up on his lap when he got into a collision with Ben Neal. So we go for qualifying Group 2. 3 drivers out on track at the moment. The leading man of these being Max Simmons.
I think this is one of the races where Ben Neal is probably pretty lucky that we don't have live stewarding.
Yeah, I think that would have been a grid drop if we did, because that was pretty blatant. Just lost the car and took Tim Course with him. Now the interesting thing here is Max Simmons. If he finishes this race pretty much at all, he will cross that 300 point threshold. Obviously 3 points from this race will not be enough for him. He does want to get as many points as possible to carry on his championship lead. Down to the tight left-hander. Again, this is a very reminiscent corner of Portimao. Through towards the fast right-hander section. Couple of downshifts as we slow it down a little bit more, and then we take it uphill again. Through this sort of suicide bowl. Nice through there. A little bit weary on the throttle, but this is going to be good through the final few corners. Misses the apex though on the final corner. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. What will he set on his first lap? Comes to cross the line. 106.0 for Max Simmons on his first lap. 5 tenths off pole again. And Sven Hilger instantly takes provisional pole. 105.5. Very, very close with Nathan Older. It's just 22 milliseconds between the top two. Jens Lebauer and Ivan Tilmani are also on track. Both of them on their first attempts in a moment. So Max Simmons, 2 thousandths between him and his championship rival Tim Course. If he can find that 2 thousandths and qualify ahead of Tim Course, that's going to be a good sign for him. But Jens Lebauer instantly up to P3 as well. Again, 4.5 tenths between him and provisional pole. But a good first time for him on the board, ahead of Tim Course and then Max Simmons. I think Max is about 2.5 tenths down on his first sector, so I wouldn't expect him to improve by much on this first attempt, if at all. Comes around the final corner. What will he do on his second lap? He does improve. 105.9 takes him ahead of his teammate Jens Lebauer for now. Also ahead of Tim Course. I think he's going to be pretty happy with that. Sven Hilger goes into the 105.4s. A tenth between him and the provisional pole. The provisional second place at the moment. Ivan Tilmani pops himself into the 107s ahead of Sven de Haas and David Apanga. He's sort of in no man's land when it comes to quali right here. He's 6 tenths behind Dinesh Ferreira, but also 7 tenths behind, in front of Sven de Haas, so bit of independent pace there. And that actually brings me to the point of Dinesh Ferreira. That's not going to be his best qualifying of the season. Second off pole and down in P8. It's going to be a long fight from there.
Yep, Sven's going to pits, getting new tire set.
Yep, a few minutes left in quali yet, so he's going to try and do that. A few laps out, pit, a few more laps sort of strategy. I wonder if Max Simmons will do the same, or if he crosses the line on this lap to try and improve his time.
The pit lane's also really tricky. If I remember right, it's the pit lane where we got the sneaky clap when someone spun in the pit lane, but I'm not too sure about that one.
Looked good through there for Max Simmons. Will it be an improvement? No, it won't. Still 4.5 tenths off of Sven Hilger's best time. Sven Hilger is out on track now, so we'll see if we can ride with him. See if he can improve. And I think the fact that... Oh, actually, I've just been silenced without even saying anything. I was about to say that the fact that Jens Lebauer is between Max Simmons and Tim Kors will be very handy for Simmons' championship bid, but Jens Lebauer has just improved, put himself 3 tenths off pole and ahead of his teammate. I think the interesting thing here is that turn 1, the drivers seem to be a bit reminiscent of McLaren last season in Formula 1. We've got one driver who's clearly leading the championship battle, or championship fight in Lando's case, and the other drivers like, yeah, no, I'm not really interested. I'll do my race, try and get as many points as I can. You can fight the championship on your own. So unless Max Simmons does improve, he will be starting behind his teammate for the 2nd consecutive race. The race that Simmons went on to finish P3 behind Tim Kors.
The thing that becomes a really big, or still become a really big difficulty if Tim gets a good amount of races in, is the fact that Jens might be not really involved in a championship fight, but he still stole his teammate points last week.
Yes, he did, but the interesting thing was Simmons didn't have the pace to beat Jens last weekend. So even if he, beat Tim Kors, he wouldn't have had the pace to keep up with P1. We saw that since the start of the race.
What I'm saying is, if they didn't have the pit stop blunder, where they had to pit during caution, they easily could have had the gap for Jens to just be like, "Whoa, I'm just gonna do an extra stop."
Potentially, yeah. It just depends on whether he would have played that team role for Max. As we've been talking, Sven Hilger's posted an even faster time, 1:05.2 for Sven Hilger. Likely to be the pole position time unless he does get an improvement. Ivan Tilmani into the 1:06.3s, pops himself ahead of Dinesh Ferreira, just behind Boris Shekajev as well.
This might be a really good race for Ivan if he can keep it together.
He is looking like his pace is there. We saw last weekend that he was fighting at the back of the pack. And whilst it is an improvement this weekend, he is, he's there with Boris Shekajev and Dinesh Ferreira, at least in qualifying. So if everything's kept clean, hopefully we can see a good race for Tilmani.
I mean, judging by the data, his best result is 8th. He has more than enough chance to beat it today if he's starting in 8th. Or maybe even in 7th, he might find that 1/10.
He might, yeah. I do think he's got it in him to find that extra 10th. He does definitely have the capability of having a performance higher than P8 in the race. He's one of those drivers that has been unlucky as well, been in a few collisions. So that's obviously affected his points tally. But we'll have to see for this weekend. Sven Hilger pits, he won't come out again, so that's his fastest time at 1:05.2. 5 tenths off is Jens Lebauer. Can he get himself onto the front row, or can Max Simmons threaten his teammate and go ahead of him? 30
Currently,
seconds.
we have a rookie on the front row again.
We do. Interesting to see how Nathan Older will play in this race. So Max Simmons will cross the line. Will he improve on this time? He does. 105.6. He's the only driver left that will have another lap as well. The other two won't make it across the line in time. So unless Jens Lebauer improves on his lap that he's on now, we'll have to see. Jens Lebauer comes towards the line. Where will he finish? P3 or P4? It's P2! It's P3! It's P2 for Jens Lebauer. He goes onto the front row. It takes that off of Max Simmons and Nathan Older. Unless Simmons can improve on his lap. He's the last person out there on track who can improve. Ivan Tilmani, he won't get a faster time on the board. He will finish P8. Max Simmons, can he get an improvement? 4 tenths is the gap between him and Tim Course. He's definitely got that qualifying superiority over Tim Course this weekend. All he needs is half a tenth for Nathan Older. Comes across the final corner now. Will he improve? He crosses the line. And he doesn't. No. P4 for Max Simmons. So it will be Sven Hilger on pole position, followed by Jens Lebauer, following off a good performance in Adelaide. Nathan Older, the rookie, will start in P3. A very good showing for him in his first race. Max Simmons, the championship leader, will start in P4, just behind his teammate in P2 on the grid. We'll then have Tim Course in P5, trying to threaten Max Simmons from behind. Ben Neal will start P6 on the third row of the grid, followed by Boris Shekhajev on row 4. Ivan Tilmani will start P8, equaling his best race finish in qualifying. Dinesh Ferreira, probably a disappointing qualifying for him. He'll start P9. Sven de Haas, again, probably disappointing qualifying. 2.5 seconds off pole position for Sven de Haas. We then have David Apanga in P11, followed by Dragishen in P12, who did have a qualifying ban, so obviously he starts back off the grid anyway. So this shall be very interesting. 30 seconds to go until the formation lap. Dragon said he will start at the back and finish at the back. He'll try to be consistent. I think if you can...
Mahavir consistency right there.
Yeah. Raghunathan is jealous. Yeah, no, I think he can definitely put up a fight with David Apanga, maybe a few of the faster cars ahead of him as well. It's just going to be interesting as to what happens in this race. We are about to go live for the formation lap. Sven Hilger will lead us away from pole position once the race director goes ahead.
The racing order is wrong, isn't it?
Nope, looks good to me.
Sven's at the back.
Sven is on pole position for me at the moment.
And the cars on the grid as well?
Yeah, the cars are on the grid for me.
Oh, I didn't. Oh my. So I forgot. Both Sven's cars are right. I didn't say anything. Don't worry about it. Didn't see that both Svens are driving white cars.
Yeah, no, that's the other Sven that you got mixed up with, yeah. Cameras don't look great for the start of this race. We'll either watch Sven Hilger and no one else, or Jens Lebauer, everyone else, and not Sven Hilger. So this will be interesting. We'll probably stick with Sven Hilger for the formation lap.
The tires are also pretty mixed. There are a few people on the primaries. There's Jens, Nathan, Ivan, and Drago on primes. The rest are on alternates.
I wonder if the drivers and the alternates are just gonna go for as much as they can on them and then just get rid of them and just drive the rest on.
My opinion.
Yeah. 47 laps here today in Alabama, here at Barber Motorsports Park. We will go live for the formation lap. The race director will join the front of the grid. There he is, in a very nice Corvette.
This car also feels like quite a lot of ass on the circuit. I'm gonna say this.
Corvette things.
Corvette.
I mean, I say Corvette things, but they did just win GT3 around Qatar, so...
Yeah. I'm gonna keep this formation lap nice and steady.
Don't want any incidents on the opening lap.
Especially not the pace car.
Oh, and the safety car's binned it. Back in the pack getting a little bit straggled. They're catching up now. So we'll go through the order one more time as we approach the end of the formation lap. Sven Hilger will start from pole position. Jens Lebau on the front row. Nathan Older, the rookie, starts on the podium positions in his debut race. I wonder if he can finish there, but he's going to have a lot of threat from behind. Max Simmons in P4 namely. Also Tim Course in P5. We'll have Ben Neal from P6 trying to challenge the guys ahead, followed by Boris Shekajev. Not his best performance in qualifying. Ivan Tilmani in P7, followed by Denise Ferreira in P8, Sven de Haas in P10, and Dragoshen rounds off the back of the grid in P11. We'll come round the final few corners now. When will Sven Hilger go? He goes now. Sven Hilger has gone. It's a good reaction from Jens Lebauer, stays in P2, so does Nathan Older in P3, but Tim Course has got Boris Shekajev right on his rear. Jens Lebauer is off. He's lost two positions off the race start. Tim Course and Ben Neal are also fighting for position. There's a guy in the wall. It's Ben Neal. He's lost it on the first lap. So is Shekajev, who is off track at the moment. Jens Lebauer is down in P5. He's got Tim Course ahead of him now. Shekajev is still facing the wrong way. Ben Neal fighting with Dragoshen, trying to get back up the order. But a good start for Sven Hilger, who's got Nathan Older behind him now. The man who could have set pole position. Max Simmons has had a great start as well. He's up into the podium places. Tim Course, his championship rival, is still right behind though. Jens Lebauer is the man to watch though, as he lost it a little bit on the first lap. He's going to be chasing Tim Course down as much as possible through these first laps.
Ladies and gentlemen, we stayed green on the first lap.
Everyone got away eventually. Shekajev has trailed off a little bit since that opening lap incident. Not sure what happened there, but we'll have to see if anything is reported. Jens Lebauer is now struggling to catch up with Tim Course, who is approaching the back of Max Simmons. 0.5 is the gap though between P2 and P3. I wonder if Sven Hilger will just try and pull away as much as he can. He's going to have a hard fight though. Yeah, Nathan Older is closing in slightly. Still under a second is the gap. Good opening few laps here in Alabama. Everyone keeping it relatively clean, relatively consistent. Oh, and Nathan Older loses it on the exit of the second to final corner. Max Simmons is right on his gearbox. Will he try and make a move as we come down the main straight? Max Simmons, will he brake later? No. He tries to go around the outside. He does go around the outside. Nathan Older has lost a position now to Max Simmons, who is up to P2. He has Tim Course to fend off now. This three-way battle for P2 as Simmons locks up a little bit. Nathan Older's right on his back. Will he make a move for the position? We go down this mini straight here, and it's not going to happen at this stage in the race for Nathan Older. Tim Course has actually got into the back of Nathan Older. That invites Jens Lebau off to a great opportunity. Will he try and go for the move on the German? No, nothing going there. Denis Ferreira's moved up to P6 since the start. That's a good start for him, up 2 positions. And the gap now between P2 and P1 is now just over now, 3 seconds. So a lot of gains for Sven Hilger on this lap. Max Simmons has dropped Nathan Older slightly as well. 8 tenths is the gap between them. And Tim Course is now the man trying to fend off Jens Lebau. This is the closest battle on track as it stands. Ivan Tilmani setting times in the 107s. So is Sven de Haas though. This is quickly becoming a 5-way fight for P2. So Simmons is going to want to try and gap the rest of the field as much as he can. 6 tenths between him and Nathan Older.
It kind of looks like the nudge Tim gave to Nathan harmed him way more than it did Nathan.
Yeah, it didn't really seem to affect Nathan Older too much. He's still on the back of Max Simmons. And in fact, Tim Course is losing quite a lot of time to the cars ahead of him. The interesting thing though is Jens Lebau isn't staying with him as much as we originally thought. Nathan Older's sticking with Max Simmons though. Interestingly, since the start, where Jens Lebau lost 3 positions, he's dropped off quite a little bit in terms of pace. A second, or over a second now, between him and Tim Course in P4. So it's going to be a race of recovery for Jens Lebau. Nathan Older breaks a little bit later than Simmons through there, but it seems to gain him a lot. Doesn't really affect his exit. Yeah.
We gotta remember, Nathan is on primaries, and Max, Tim are all on alternates.
So the fact that he is on a storm right now doesn't seem to be the tyres that are affecting him. Almost 2-3 tenths as we come through the final corner. Remember, there is pushed pass on the road courses, so 10 uses throughout the race. Wonder if any drivers have used any so far this race. Simmons goes slightly wide, but that's not going to cost him anything. Nathan Older taking a much closer line to the curb than Simmons through there. It's prepping him great for this little complex here, where he can brake later than Simmons. He gets a beautiful exit out of there, as he has been doing. Closes the gap down a little bit as we approach the uphill left-hander, followed by the swinging right in a moment. Left again, and then right again. And he's right on the back of Simmons. He's made a mistake through there. It invites Nathan Older to try and have a look. Not through the penultimate corner, not through the final corner. But they are close as we approach the main straight. It's not as long as you'd think though. And Simmons still stays ahead. Gap now between the top 2 is just under 4 seconds. That gap is extending. So it's not looking like Simmons has the pace to challenge Hilger today unless something drastic changes that. Hilger just trying to drive his race. He needs that win on the board for Black Eagle Racing in the Constructors. Again, Nathan Older much better than Simmons through there.
Primaries just look a lot smoother than the alternates do.
That's the interesting thing, yeah. So I wonder when Simmons' course will decide I've had enough of these tyres and just switch over to the primaries.
Because if you look further back in the grid, Ivan Tilmani also has a way better, or rather more consistent time than Sven de Haas does.
They are fighting for position though. Gap is around a second between them. In fact, nothing doing for Nathan Older, on this lap, but he's just maintaining that gap, biding his time, trying to force Simmons into some kind of mistake that will allow him the option to get the position off of him. Through the final sector we go again. Simmons does get a great exit from here compared to Older though. Simmons sets his personal best of a 106.975. Older was slightly faster, only 6 thousandths on that lap.
Sven de Haas against Ben Neal.
Ben Neal goes swooping around the outside, makes the move for position, back up to P8. They're still close though. Oh, Sven de Haas brakes way too late. He's going to go off track with that. That's compromised him. That's going to create a gap between him and Ben Neal. Gap up to a second now, if that. And yeah, that's going to cost Sven de Haas a bit of time. Ben Neal trying to arrive on the back of Ivan Tilmani. Simmons has Older right on his rear on this occasion though, but again just gets a great exit through the final corner. So not through there, that's not happening yet for Older. Older's closing up though, he's right on the back through the left-hander. Is he going to try and make a move here? Oh, a bit squirrely out of the exit, that's going to be fine though.
Oh, he's pushing, he has pushed the pause on as well. This might be, no, thinks better of it.
Yep. Opts against it, he knows he gets a better exit through here.
Ah, small lockup.
It's going to cost him slightly. Interestingly, if anything happens between these two, Tim Course is right there for the taking of these two positions. I think Tim Course is just praying that these two get in some sort of collision.
I think this is where Tim is actually also kind of happy that he doesn't have the pace, because he doesn't have a car right ahead, right behind him the whole time.
2.5 seconds is the gap between him and Jens Libau. Oh, and Tilmani's in the wall. He's gone off just before the final complex, but he's back onto the track now. So he'll be okay with that. 25% of the race completed. No safety cars or full course yellows. Oh, and Nathan Older is off track. He's braked way too late. And that's going to cost him 1 position. No, 2 positions. As he goes down to P5 now, trying to fight Max Simmons for P2. That's just not worked out. So instead of fighting Simmons, he's fighting the other Turn 1 car of Jens Libau, who moves up to P4. Oh, Simmons is... Wait. Is that...
Oh,
that's a glitch.
power.
That's a glitch. Yeah, I thought it was. I was going to say that was like a 4-second gap. So, Tilmani in the wall on the previous lap. That's put him down 2
really
positions.
odd corner. The question is, was there contact with Ben Neal maybe?
They did swap positions just as that just as he sort of went off track. So possibly we'll have to have a look. But yeah.
Question is, how fast now can Nathan pass the other turn one car and come back to
He's back.
Tim, who's
Oh wow,
closing up now.
That's much faster through there than Jens Libau, but he gets all kinds of wrong on the exit. Takes a lot of curb and grass in doing so. That's going to cost him time. Now the job for Simmons is get as far away from Tim Course as you can.
Half a second. Nathan is faster, so
He's much faster on this occasion than Jens Libau. The gap is closing. This is where he made a mistake previously, though. He's not going to do it on this occasion.
This makes me sad he didn't join in like before Texas, like in Portland or something. You could have really mixed things up.
Yeah. Yeah, we do see a lot of fast drivers here. Let's hope Nathan Alder can try and make an impression on the Turn 1 drivers. Jens Libau is first up. Not as good through that sector though for Nathan Alder. Dropped back a little bit, but not enough to cause any serious harm. In fact, the gap between Tim Course and Jens Libau has closed a bit on this lap. Oh! Nathan Alder is in the wall! Only slightly though. It's cost him a couple seconds. It's not going to be detrimental, but he did go into the wall slightly. So now Nathan Alder is not on the back of Jens Libau. He won't be fighting for that position right now. So now the job for Jens Libau, catch up to the car ahead of you.
That's always the teeny tiny difference between pacing and overpacing.
I think, do you think we're getting to the point now where we could see people get off the alternates, or is it still too early just yet?
I'd say this is slowly becoming the part where you can at least think to get off the alternates. If you're Ben Neal or Denise Ferreira.
30 laps on primaries, how does that sound? If you box lap lap 18, sorry.
Judging by how long Nathan is able to hold the pace, possible.
Denise Ferreira is in the wall, and he's lost a position to Ben Neal. Gets back going, but Sven de Haas is there as well. He's going to take that position, and he's back to where he started. Denise Ferreira cost him about 8-9 seconds on that lap, so he's back down to P8. Sven de Haas moves up to P7. And after an opening lap collision, Ben Neal back up to P6. Everyone just sort of driving solo for the minute. But this is interesting. Jens Libau is now 4/10 off the back of Tim Course. And Tim Course...
The friends from Adelaide.
We saw these two go to blows in Adelaide. It actually led to a post-race penalty being applied to Jens Libau, but it didn't affect his race results. Ivan Tilmani gets past Shekajev, puts him down to the last driver apart from Dragon, and the gap has increased now to 1.5 seconds to Tim Course. Oh, Sven de Haas has just got past Ben Neal. Ben Neal was 5 seconds slow on that. I think he collided in the wall the same place Denise Ferreira did. Sven de Haas is up to P6. All sorts of driver mistakes going on today. This is the part of the track though where I think Jens Libau is much quicker than Tim Course. We'll have to see it improve though as we come through this section of track. He closes the gap down a little bit, not enough to make an impression though. The gap goes straight back up to what it was.
The thing about where Jens is actually faster than Tim, I'm pretty sure it's tire related by now, but it's also the part where you can't overtake anyway.
100%, yeah, and Sven de Haas has gone really wide on that occasion through the final few corners. It's invited Ben Neal right there to have a look for the position. He's going to try and fight for it, though, is Sven de Haas. He tries to take the inside line. That works pretty well for him. He's not got the greatest exit out of the final corner. Ben Neal is going to try and take this off of him. They approach the line neck and neck as we go across to the first corner. Very nice for Ben Neal. Moves up back to P6. We have a full course yellow. And that's Dinesh Ferreira in the wall again. Same place.
And Boris Shekerjev just had a lot of luck.
Pulls into the pits just as the full course yellow is called. That's fine since it was before the full course yellow was sent out. So that's great for Boris Shekerjev. It's going to save him a bit of time. As we are about to go green again. Nathan Older, Jens Lebau and Tim Kors are pretty close. 5 seconds for Nathan Older for speeding under the full course yellow. So his race has gone from okay to not good to pretty bad at this stage. Dragon also gets a 5 seconds for speeding. Dinesh Ferreira spun it again. And that's Shekerjev on his rear now. The man who's just pitted. Is he going to try and make a move on Dinesh Ferreira full position?
Oh, yeah,
Shekerjev on the primaries. Yep, Ferreira's tyres are going to be pretty dead from all the spinning.
I mean, Shekerjev had a huge lot of luck. He got to pit. He saved a lot of time, and with that, he avoided to get lapped.
Oh, and Ferreira much wider through there. That's cost him the position. It's sad for Ferreira. I really want him to do well, but it's just not coming to blows for him. He almost loses it again out of the final corner. Ben Neal and Sven de Haas have swapped positions again. Oh, that's a timing bug. Never mind. They are pretty close on the track though, 2 seconds. As Nathan Older comes into the pits. First of the leading 5 to do so.
He was on primaries.
That's interesting. I was about to say.
28 laps on alternates.
We'll have to see if that works out for him. Sven de Haas and Ben Neal will take the position in the pits. Or whilst they're out on track, sorry. Whilst Nathan Older is in the pits. Down to P7 now. Will Tilmani get past him as he's in the pit lane?
Alternates, that's good. Tire requirement fulfilled. Now maybe the hope for caution.
This is going to be interesting to see where Nathan Older finishes in this race.
Oh, Ferreira is blocking Hilger right now.
He does let him past eventually. Sven Hilger comes up to lap Dinesh Ferreira. And in fact, Dinesh Ferreira's gone off track. I think he needs to box. He needs to come off these tyres.
Yeah, the alternates are done for. Looks like.
Coming up to lap Dragon is Tim Kors. Remember, the rule is if you're being lapped once, you don't need to let them by. If you're being lapped twice, yes you do. Dragon does get out of the way though. It's not really sensible for him to fight it. So he does his bidding and lets Tim Kors by.
And now he's doing him a favor because... Oh, no, he's not.
Oh, Ferreira and Shekerjev are close again. They've swapped positions twice on this occasion. Shekerjev.
That was a timing bug?
That was a timing bug, yep. Ferreira and Shekerjev swapping positions all the time. Interestingly, Tilmani has been passed by Nathan Older, who is of course on the faster tyres. Sven de Haas and Ben Neal are close for position. 8 tenths is the gap between them. On the same set of tyres, same strategy. So this is a pure race for position here.
I have something on my tongue, but I don't want to say it because I don't want to jinx everything.
Go on, throw in a commentator's curse. Go on, you know you want to.
So far, this is the race with the most percentage of actually green flag.
Oh yeah, that's it. It's so over now.
I apologize in advance. Oh, Denise Ferreira.
Shekajev's by once again. Ferreira, probably the faster driver, but he's made a lot of mistakes. He's on the arguably the slower tyres as well. These drivers are both a lap down. Shekajev has pitted though, the leaders haven't.
They just need to stay close to Sven, and when there's a caution, just pit a lap after Sven does. They'll get the lap back probably.
Oh, Ben Neal! He spun it out the final corner. He was fighting Sven de Haas for position. Lost it a little bit on the exit. That seems to be a very tricky corner for the two DB Motorsports drivers. Ben Neal and Ferreira both losing it quite a lot through that corner.
For a guy that has traction control, this is actually kind of hard to see. Oh, Boris Shekajev made another mistake. Ferreira's back through.
The battle of the mistakes. Oh, and make it another one for Denise Ferreira. Costs himself the position to Shekajev again. He's in the wall. That's Jens Lebau that will go through. Oh, sorry, Max Simmons. Then Tim Kors.
And then goes on the other way.
Yep.
That's nice to see. Oh, there's the next pit stop. Sven de Haas.
Ben Neal's also in. They're both in. Let's see who comes out on top in the pits. Probably be Sven de Haas, since he's got that track position.
So it looks like you can actually 50% the race on one tire set. That doesn't mean that Nathan actually goes through till the end because he pitted a lot earlier.
Yeah. He'll be doing about 30 laps on those tyres, maybe more, maybe slightly less, which is still a lot to ask from the alternates.
And Ben Neal passed Sven de Haas.
5 seconds slower was Sven de Haas in the pits.
And there comes Shekajev.
Shekajev takes the position from Sven de Haas on slightly older tyres though, so Sven de Haas can probably try and fight that one back. And this is, I'm not going to try and curse it or jinx it. We've seen Sven Hilger dominate races before, especially to this extent. 17 seconds is the gap in 25 laps. He's not been able to pull off a win though.
We don't want to think of Long Beach.
So hopefully that can change for Hilger. Put in
Ivan
a dominating.
Tomani, the next pit stop.
It comes into the pits to take off the primaries. So again, 50-50
Hilger
split.
gonna get his primaries now.
Also comes into the pits. Yep. The race leader. So Simmons is also in. Yep. So is Tim Kors. Yep. This is definitely the lap 2 pit.
Jens Lebau doesn't.
He is on the primaries though, so we can expect him to go slightly longer. He'll probably go to about lap 30.
This is the part where it highly depends on fuel for Jens though.
Yeah, he could have been running slightly higher fuel than the cars around him. Now, who will come out ahead in Tim Kors and Max Simmons? They're both in the pits. Simmons gets away. And he's taken the position from Tim Course. Nathan Alder has actually passed both of them in the pits.
I was about to say,
Nathan Alder. Oh, and he goes off track. He's lucky.
Oh,
he's lucky. Simmons is right there though on newer tyres. Nathan Alder put in a stonking stint, and he's back up to P3. So this time, instead of attacking Simmons from behind, he's got to defend from in front. This is going to be interesting. P3.
There's a great saying that I learned a few years ago in racing, actually in karting even. It's way better to be the hunter than the hunted, because as the hunter you can only win, as the hunted you can only lose.
And the gap is actually increasing between P3 and P4 as Jens Lebau comes into the pit, so this will effectively become a fight for P2. Tim Course has dropped off the back a little bit of Simmons and Nathan Alder.
The thing that's truly great to see in this race especially is that we have a full flow of green flag pit stops. We actually have the full-fledged strategy coming into play this week.
And after the pit stops, Jens Lebau is now pretty close to the back of Tim Course. And he's probably on the faster tyres as well.
And the big winner of this pit stop phase, of this actually strategy-driven race so far, has 7 push-to-passes, has red striped tyres, and is currently second.
Nathan Alder. We did see him box pretty early for those alternates though. So it's whether he can take him the full extent. He's increasing the gap slightly to Max Simmons. So at the minute there's no reason why he can't do that. Closest on-track battle at the moment is Tim Course and Jens Lebau. Tim Course is actually off the road. That's going to cost him time. Jens Lebau is just going to try and bide his time here, force him into another mistake. Much better through there for Jens Lebau compared to Tim Course. Gap's coming down slightly, 5 tenths.
I know there's still 20 laps to go, but you know which streak can currently die this week?
Jens Lebau not finishing on the podium in all the races he's attended.
Exactly. He's currently getting his worst finish in DRC, which is kind of weird considering it's a 5th place.
I think he'll, considering the strength of the drivers ahead of him, I don't think he'll be complaining too much, especially if he takes P4 off Tim Course. Then that'll be a definite team win. This is sort of roles reversed from Adelaide. We had Jens Lebau leading the 2 Turn 1 cars. Now it's Max Simmons. Can he help in Simmons' championship bid and take P4 from Tim Course? Gap's gone up slightly though. And interestingly, the gap between P1 and P2 is actually declining. Nathan Alder's gained about 3 seconds in the pit stop phase compared to Sven Hilger. It was about 17.5 between P1 and P2 after during the before the pit stop phase, sorry. It's now about 14.5, so 3 seconds gained so far. 18 laps still to go. If he gains a second a lap, could be interesting. Tim Course goes wide. Tim Course goes wide. Jens Lebau is invited. Oh, they touch, but it's not going to mean too much. Jens Lebau gets squirrely out to the exit of the final corner. Will he try and make a move into the first corner? No, nothing going there.
The 2 friends from Adelaide.
Back at it again. Let's keep it clean this time though, boys. We don't want to see anyone off on the side of the road. Oh, he's going to go for a move. Jens Lebau forces himself down the inside. Was that too late? Was that too late? Was there a gap? Tim Course is saying, no, you're not getting past me today. Full course yellow. And that's Dinesh Ferreira, who has DNF'd. I'm not sure what happened, but we have a full course yellow. Was that for Dinesh Ferreira?
No.
Who was it for?
For Drago. In the gravel trap. Came out right ahead of the... In the mix between Tim and Jens.
Watching him right now, he's got Tim Course sniffing his bum. Full course yellow ending. He's going to want to try and get past Dragon as fast as possible.
Drago is lapped by the whole field, so he has to get out of
past.
the way.
Yep. 5 seconds again for Nathan Alder for speeding. And I kind of forgot about the first penalty, but this time he's got a second one. Dragons, it doesn't seem like he's... Oh, Dragon's actually spun. No, he hasn't. Never mind, I lied. But Tim Course gets past. And the gap has opened up to Jens Lebauer as well. Oh, very slidey.
We also now see in the tower the +1 lap from Drago, so he is lapped by the whole field.
Now, this is something to bear in mind. Nathan Alder has a 5-second penalty at the very least, depending on if he served the... I think he did serve the first one in the pit stop, so it should just be 5 seconds. But that 5 seconds at the moment will take him behind Max Simmons. So if Max Simmons can keep that gap under 5 seconds, he moves up to a provisional P2 in this race.
I think you can't serve the 5 seconds, so you should get 10 seconds at the end.
Oh, you can't serve them in the pits?
No, because they're not stop and goes.
So 10 seconds for Nathan Alder, which at the moment 10 seconds will take him still down to P3, but Tim Course and Jens Lebauer within 1 to 3 seconds of breaking that barrier and sending Nathan Alder down to P5. I think Jens Lebauer and Tim Course would have gotten that message that he's got a 10-second penalty, or 2 5 seconds, and they want to close that gap as much as possible.
Shekerjev goes by Ben Neal.
They're going to try and fight it back though, Ben Neal. Again, braking later than Shekerjev, forces himself wide. Gonna cost him time on the exit. Will Neal be able to fight this one back? Takes a much better line through there than Shekerjev. But the gap is about 5 tenths, 4 tenths. Through the uphill right-hander we go. Oh, Shekerjev very wide, and Ben Neal's taking the place.
This looks like the 5th time he missed that corner.
Can't be an easy corner for him. As Ben Neal is back up to P6. Shekerjev still faster overall on that lap, so... Oh, and he goes very wide through there. So, Shekerjev's going to fight this one as much as he can. $14 laps remaining. Gap between P1 and P2 around 15 seconds as it stands. Oh, Ben Neal's gone wide. Ben Neal's gone wide as well. Shekerjev's also gone wide. That's cost a lot of time, mainly for Shekerjev.
Shekerjev actually hit the wall.
Bigger loss for Boris Shekajev.
The wheel also doesn't look fully straight anymore.
Front left or front right?
The steering wheel looks like slightly bending to the left.
Oh, it takes a lot of curb. I think it's good. I think it's straight.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to see though. We'll see if Jens Lebau can close the gap down to Tim Kors. Still over about a second at the moment. Interesting thing being that if Jens Lebau or any of the cars ahead of him get a penalty, it probably won't take him much further than P5. Gap between P5 and P6 just about 30 seconds.
Yep.
So we'll make that 25, 26 on this lap. %, 75% of the race done. Sven Hilger leading as he has since the start. Now the gap between P2 and P3 almost approaching 5 seconds. Just need to do that all over again, does Nathan Alder.
Nathan Alder's in the pits.
Ah, so he wasn't able to go to the end on those tyres. Simmons is going to go up to P2. Tim Kors will take P4. Or P3, sorry. Jens Lebau will take P4. So Nathan Alder... He didn't... If he changed the tyres, it was very quick. He's out of the pits already.
He didn't feel that much this time.
Ah, there we go. So P5 for Nathan Alder at the moment. Bear in mind that 10-second penalty. So if Ben Neal catches up, 15 seconds is the gap at the moment.
We can already probably announce that the point of most laps led is going to Sven.
Yeah, yeah, it just is.
I don't think there's enough laps to beat 38.
Yeah, mathematically, no, probably not. So yeah.
All right, guys, every lead lap counts times 10 now.
Yeah. So at least one more point for Sven Hilger. Should take him to, what's that, 51 in this race if he wins?
Actually not fully aware because he also has the pole.
Ah, yeah.
I don't know who the fastest lap has though, but judging it's either Nathan or Sven.
So what's that, 52, 53, depending on who has the fastest lap?
Yeah, should be 50, around 53 maybe.
So a lot of points for Black Eagle Racing. 2 Turn 1 drivers in the top 4 though. So let's assume 53 points for Sven Hilger. And then if it finishes as it stands, P2 and P4, it would be 72 points for turn 1, so they will take over the constructors' standings since there are no other Black Eagle Racing drivers here this weekend, by around 20 points. So as it stands, good race for turn 1.
Definitely.
Especially since Simmons is still ahead of Tim Course in the battle for the championship. 5 seconds between them. Jens Lebauer still not able to make an impact on Tim Course.
Nine laps remaining. I think it's good that we have a clean, calm race.
It's very nice. Something a bit like Portland, but with less cautions.
I mean, Portland only had 1 caution.
So we've replicated that at least, hopefully no more, in the remaining 9 laps.
I mean, I think Portland had 1 caution and 2 full course yellows. We have the full course yellows here, but we don't have the caution yet.
Yep. What would you say is the possibility of Tim Course still being able to fight for the championship if it ends like it is at the moment? Obviously the gap will go up, but he's still mathematically being in it.
Nashville needs to end like Texas. I think that's the big important point, to take the championship down to Laguna Seca.
Get as many points over Simmons as he can in Nashville, since Simmons, he may have won an oval, but his pace wasn't great last time round in Texas. Lost a lot of points there.
Max needs to struggle in Nashville. That's the important thing.
If it's another race like this one for Simmons and Tim Course in Nashville, then I think the chances are nigh on impossible, if not impossible. As it stands, the gap is, I think it was 36 points in the championship. Let me double check that.
Yeah, it's going slightly up here. Then Nashville needs to be a complete blow, and then take it down to Laguna Seca.
So as it stands, what's happened? We need to know.
Checker Jeff decided to actually turn into a Red Bull commercial.
Yeah, so if it finishes as it stands at the moment, the gap will be around 40 points. So if Texas, if Nashville isn't an absolute blowout, then it's all over, pretty much. Ooh, what have I clicked? There we go. That gap is coming down though, 7 tenths for Jens Lebauer to try and catch Tim Course.
You know who's also rapidly closing in?
Nathan Older. Yeah, he is. He's got the gap down to about, what's that?
7 seconds.
7 seconds, yes, but he does have that 10-second penalty applied, so it's not looking like he will finish ahead.
That really fresh alternate tire. Oh, yes! What?
In fact, he managed to close down through there. Shekachev's caught right onto the back of these two. He is a lap down though, so he can try and take the position back if he wants to.
No, I think this is the second.
No, it should only be the first. He's only 1 lap down at the moment. Oh wait, no, from the whole field, yeah. Yeah, you're right. This is the second. But he's trying for it. I mean, he's not giving up. Shekachev forces himself down the inside. And he unlaps himself from Jens Lebau. Tim Kors is next on his list. This could spice things up a little bit, Boris Shekachev. Probably getting blue flags all the time though. So unless Shekachev takes Tim Kors now, this is not looking good for Jens Lebau.
Okay, the cars who are currently, at least from the looks of it, lapped completely, start at P7.
Yeah. Ben Neal's close to being lapped by Sven Hilger.
Currently, the winner of this race so far when it comes to gain positions is Sven de Haas, and the loser are
Jens Lebau, Nathan Older.
And Dinesh Ferrer, who's not with us anymore. We also had a few two-stops. Boris Shekachev and Nathan Older.
Yeah, two stops. I think it could have worked decently for Nathan Older if he didn't have that 2 5-second penalties. I think Jens Lebau is going to be very frustrated right now. He's just been unlapped from Boris Shekachev, and Shekachev is just like, nah, not really feeling like overtaking Tim Kors. Four laps to go. Still anyone's game if something goes very wrong.
The question is, what does Shekachev want to do with Tim Kors?
He's gaining.
Because Jens struggles so much, Nathan is there.
Yeah, he is 1.4 seconds off the back of back of Jens Lebau, sorry. Shekachev's gonna try and go for the move. Oh, Tim closes the door. Very risky game being played. Shekachev, he's gonna go for it again. No, he's not.
Not in there.
Thought better of it. Nathan Alder's right on the back of these though.
He has the same tire advantage Shekachev has, and we can see how much faster Shekachev suddenly is.
Oh, he takes a lot of curb through that. That's cost him. Oh, very wide. It's gonna be fine.
Get out of the way, though. This is danger. This is getting really, really dangerous.
It is. This is gonna bring both of these cars into play. Nathan Alder's gonna go for the position. He takes it from Jens Lebau. Oh, Lebau's off track. Oh, Dragonshen gets 5 seconds for cutting as Nathan Alder goes off track. So that will put Jens Lebau right in the position again. But Shekachev's going for the move. He goes off track. Dragon's also off track. Where is Dragon coming from? What the hell has just happened? Tim Kors has gotten away with that. Very lucky for Tim Kors. Let Shekachev by, and Shekachev just went completely off the track. 2 seconds between Tim Kors and Jens Lebau will mean this battle is effectively over unless Tim Kors has a mistake. Nathan Alder still on the back of Jens Lebau, fighting for this position. In fact, make that on the side of Jens Lebau until the gap closes. Puts himself in a great position on exit. Slidey through there. Jens Lebau fighting this.
He doesn't. Nathan is just going to take it.
He does take it. He does have that 10 seconds though.
He's not going to worry too much because Shekachev is back.
Shekachev is right there.
In whatever world he is currently, I can't explain, but he is there.
Can Nathan Alder catch Tim Kors?
And this is also officially the first race in DRC IndyCar history without a full course caution.
With no safety cars, baby. Leader is on the final lap. Nathan Older trying the best he can to catch Tim Course. The gap is now around a second.
Oh, look how close he is to the edge of the grass. Every corner. He's flowing in the circuit. If only the mistakes were in there.
Gap is under a second now. Oh, again, very wide for the final corner.
Fun fact, by the way, Max Simmons has not used a single push to pause.
I wonder why. I don't understand. Okay.
Sven Hill got close to the last race. He had a rough start to the season. He took time off to recover from injury, and he finally done it.
In his eighth attempt or eighth race for the season, Sven Hilger is going to cross the line. P1. Sven Hilger wins in Barber. It's his first win of the season. It's a great result for him after Long Beach. Ben Neal also crosses the line. P6 after being lapped.
He finally broke the curse.
He did. Simmons will also come round the final corner to extend his championship lead. P2 for Simmons. Extends the gap on Tim Course with 2 rounds to go. Tim Course finishes P3 on the podium. Nathan Older finishes P4 on the track. Will finish P5 overall after that 10-second penalty. Jens Lebau will move up to P4. Then it's Ben Neal P6, Sven de Haas P7, Boris Shekjev in P8, followed by Ivan Tilmani in P9. Then Drakishen, the last of the finishers, in P10. In a race where there wasn't many safety cars, or no safety cars, Sven Hilger has put on an absolute dominant display. 25 seconds was the gap between him and the championship leader, Max Simmons. Donuts for Sven Hilger, he's finally done it. And with 2 rounds to go, it's looking interesting for what can happen in the constructors' standings. The fight still goes on though in the driver's standings. Max Simmons may have extended his championship lead today, but not by much. Tim Course is still right there. The battle is well and truly on as we head to the final 2 races. Next time out, it will be Nashville, the last oval of the season, before we head to Laguna Seca for the season finale. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. We'll see you all next weekend.